Well, now it begins. I have no idea where this is going to go. This is day one, and this is video number two. Um, what does it mean? Well, it means that, well, we begin. Um, I've kind of decided that most of our videos are going to be sort of shortcuts, pieces that either demonstrate what we're doing, who we are, what kind of projects we're working on, little tidbits about the neighborhood in Calgary in particular. Um, maybe some pieces about who we are and what we're about. But all in all, I think at the very least for the beginning, because we don't have software, we just have a whole bunch of different variations of cameras and just a handful of ideas. So I mean, we haven't really even figured out what the plan is here yet. I haven't discussed most of the process or the project with the people I work with, and so I expect a handful of different um, pieces of input from everybody, and I'm kind of hoping to get their opinions on record, sort of on camera as well. Um, but really, what it comes down to is, uh, you know, the studio itself is a book bindery. So, what that means, a book bindery does restoration work. It does repair jobs on books. We manufacture books, one of a kind, custom books for people. We also have a publishing house which has over 1,500 books published on Amazon and all over the world. You can find us on Barnes and Noble. You can find lots of our books on Chapters Indigo. But the main thing is that you know that's the bread and butter work that we do on a day to day, and I'd really like to share that with the world. But we also in the studio have an artist named Melanie, and we have a handful of other people coming in. We're really hoping to sort of expand what we do in the studio in terms of having artists come and hang out and do their work and share and collaborate and play with new ideas. And we also, on top of all of that, have a sound studio that's in the process of being built. And the sound studio is, it's not completely functional yet. We have a microphone, we have a computer, and we have a couple of guitars in there and a monitor and whatever. But none of the microphones can hook up to the computer yet, except for the one. And it's a work in process. Um, so much a work in process, in fact, that right now it's mostly being used as a storage room. So, anyways, what this video series is supposed to be about is to kind of share with you what we do, how we do it, the kinds of projects on the table, and a little bit about our lives to give you sort of a flavor of what we're about. As you can see, I don't have any intros, I don't have any extras. There's no editing work at the moment taking place on these videos. It's just raw and uploaded to YouTube as they are. And hopefully, one of the things that I really believe in is the value of authenticity. And so, this is about as raw and authentic as you can get. Just us talking to cameras and sharing ideas and talking to each other and blathering or whatever, and at the same time, just posting stuff to the channel as it comes to us. Um, and if you have the opportunity to sort of go in and read what sort of our mission statement, which is in the details of the YouTube channel. Um, Ultimately, what this comes down to is that we're just wanting to share with you who we are and what we're about, and that's it. It's not, there's no crazy marketing role happening here. We do have a lot of products in the studio. We do have a lot of things that we create. The intent behind it is to continue being able to build stuff and create stuff and have a good time being artists and creative people, while at the same time, paying the bills and making sure that we have the ability to eat and to live. And that's kind of the thing, is that Having a creative job is fantastic. Having the ability to bring money in is amazing, but you got to enjoy what you do, and that's what we do at the studio. It's what I've been doing for years. It's not a big money thing. I mean, I wish it was. I've been homeless several times over the last few years, and I don't mean for just a couple of days. I mean for like several weeks, several months. Um, and sometimes I've had to live out of the studio on a cot. Sometimes I've had to stay at friends' places or couch surf or whatever. But in the end, I mean, the studio remains, and that's work. Um, some people would say, well, why would you put yourself through that? Well, because there's nothing else. That's life. That's our life, is to live in that studio and work in that studio and have the things that that studio does, because it's such an amazing space, and it's such an amazing place, and it does so much for other people. We're creating a legacy, and it's not about living a very wealthy life, or having enough money to go out to buy a nice steak in a fancy restaurant. It's about being able to enjoy what you do, live passionately, live fully, and that's where we're at with the place. I urge you and invite you to come and check out the. I've set up a Facebook. It's not a page. I've actually set up a persona called Octavius Maximus, and that is basically the YouTube page, or sorry, YouTube name that I'm going to use. But I'm also going to set up a YouTube page associated with it. And the reason I'm doing that is I sort of want to separate my life, my personal life, from my, this project, this work life project. Not for any reason that, um, you know, not because I don't want my friends and family to see what I'm doing. In fact, they're invited to come and check it out, and a couple of them have already joined as of this moment. But because I don't want to, I want to have that sort of line between the two that gives me a sort of sense of distinction between what is video related and what is not. I don't necessarily want my family to be caught up in this stuff, unless they want to be. I mean, I'd love for my daughter and my sons and everybody to show up and maybe take some video and show me what they think of my life. Some of the other things that I'm kind of hoping that we can do here is to do some interviews with the people that are related to what I do in my work, and to show you a little bit about what's going on in the neighborhood, and show you about what our life is like. Now, I'm also going to point out that we're using several different modes of videography in this case. I'm using different cameras. I'm going to be handing cameras to other people and let them take video and show what they see. And so it's a very raw process. There's not going to be a whole bunch of cuts or final edits or whatever. Maybe someday. I mean, it takes a lot of extra time to do that stuff, and we're very busy creative folk. I'd like to thank a handful of people for inspiring this. One person in particular is my friend Rodney. Another is my friend Neil. They're both very involved in the film industry and doing things on a more productive production level of things. But they've inspired me somewhat to get this thing happening, especially Rodney. And also there's a lot of people that inspire my life that I'd really like to thank, just en masse. I mean, I'm not going to throw out a whole bunch of names, but I'm really hoping that this is something that you can find engaging and inviting, and give you sort of an insight into the studio and our lives. So that's where we're at. I'm going to post this and upload it right away, and you guys have a fantastic day. I'll probably post something else later on. Let me know what you think. It's really important that you tell me what you'd like to see, what you'd like to sort of experience with us. But please subscribe, share it with your friends and family, and at the same time, comment, get involved, ask questions. Take care.